NFL Network to keep you in the loop with live, up-to-date information about all the moves and deals that are being made starting Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Our free agency frenzy coverage kicking off on NFL Network. And there are some pretty good cornerbacks who could be looking for homes, assuming they don't re-sign with their current teams before the negotiating period starts. Guys like Byron Jones from the Cowboys and James Bradbury from the Panthers, and a guy that Aqib Talib put on his list of the top 5 cornerbacks of the decade right here on this show just last week.
The only reason I put this guy at number 5 is because he played in the slot a little bit. My little brother, Chris Harris Jr., because he traveled in that slot. Now that outside is a little bit different. It's a little bit different when you're on that island and that deep ball really becomes a factor day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? So, but Chris, another guy, 20 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, Super Bowl champion, 4 Pro Bowls, 3 total All-Pro.
Went to Kansas.
This is my little brother, man.
Are you just like, here's something I know about Chris Harris?
Great matchup. Great.
Good job.
They went to school together.
That's my little brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, come on now. He got to be on the list.
No fly zone for life. Aqib and Chris Harris Jr. joins us now via FaceTime. Top 5 in the decade, Chris.
That's
what do you think about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely think I belong in that discussion of what I've been able to do and really show people how you can play the slot multiple ways and also play outside all over the field. I definitely believe I deserve to be in that discussion for sure.
Man, that sounds like Aqib Talib was your agent the way he was up there talking about you.
Yeah, good timing, too.
Great timing, too.
Hey, I talk about him, too, man. Aqib, man, I think he trying to break that record, trying to get the most interception return touchdowns, though. So I think that's something that he can definitely try to go get next year.
But well-deserved, my man. So let's talk about this. Free agency is coming up. Kind of walk us through the process, because typically, you have teams lined up where you go visit them. And, of course, with everything's going on, things have to change. So what do you know, and what have you been told about visits and stuff like that that's coming up?
Yeah. My agent has told me that we've got a lot of interest and that I could go on visits if I want to. It's really my choice, really my option. And I think at the beginning I wasn't planning on going on any visits anyway. So with the virus going on, it doesn't really affect anything that I was planning to do anyways.
How important is that stuff to you? Or are you just saying, like, what's the number?
Yeah. At year 10 where I'm in, it's time to win again. So I want to get back in a great situation to where I can have a chance to win another Super Bowl, being able to just finish my career at on a high note, and that's what I want to do.
So we just saw that the free agency as far as cornerbacks on the market. How close are you monitoring these cornerbacks that come into the market, and how much do you think that affects where you potentially want to go, or how much interest they have in you? Talk about that.
Yeah. I think just trying to see where Byron's going. I think he's the only one really. I think a lot of teams, we got a lot of interest in both of us. So just kind of seeing where we both choose. I might be able to choose before him, and then might set him up to go somewhere else, so vice versa. So you never know how this stuff is gonna work, man. It's our first time being in it. It's my first time after 9 years being a free agent. So it's kind of you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're talking about this like Denver is past tense. Is there any chance you go back to Denver? Are they in the mix, or is that in the
Give me some hope. Give me some hope.
Nah, man, I think it's pretty much that door's been closed, man. So it's just trying to move on to the next situation that's best for me, and try to figure out who's excited to have me in the building and have me part of their team.
The A.J. Boye trade last week, was that a reaction to the anticipation of losing you, do you think?
I mean, I think they was just we really didn't have a lot of corners last year other than me, and so I think they just wanted to fill that void and not be in a limbo, and so I think they just reacted fast and kind of just let me know that I'll be able to hit the market.
Do you have there's been some talk about people suggesting that they should move free agency back. Would that be beneficial to you? Do you have any opinions about whether or not the league should look at that, or would you like it to kick off as slated right now?
Man, we're ready. I'm ready to know, man. I feel like it's been long enough, so I'm ready to know where I'm going to be, know what team I'm going to be on, and get it rolling. Really get that chemistry rolling, and try to get on the same page as fast as we can. Even with we're even fighting through this virus, and whatever we can to try to get rolling. So I don't want it to get pushed back because I'm ready to know.
All right, last one from me. The CBA, the players are voting on that. I think that's due on Saturday.
Yep.
Where are you and your stance with the CBA? What are you leaning toward? What have you heard from other players about their voting and what's going to happen in the next couple of days?
Yeah. I had voted no. I thought the workage was way more compared to was in our CBA that we're going through now. Being able to add another game and then also add another playoff game without no buys, I think that was huge in my point of just keeping guys healthy. That was one major issue, but I voted no, and there's a lot of reasons that I can see why guys could vote yes and wanted to get it rolling and not having to go through the lockout. So I see both ways and see how guys can vote yes, and I'm interested to see what happens because if it goes over Saturday, we're under a new CBA, the voting is ending, and we'll be able to see what's going to happen.
Do you have any kind of a sense for, have you talked to other players around the league? Do you have a feel for whether or not it's probably going to be a yay or a nay?
That's a great question because you really don't know. I'm thinking that it will get passed just because I think a lot of the younger guys will say yes on it and be able to, and I think it'll go through. I think the majority might end up saying yes.
Chris Harris, thank you so much for checking in with a safe 6 feet away distance, even more than that. Thinking of you and your family next week, and I hope things go well for you in free agency.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Thanks, TD.
All right, brother.
Just as the league is driven by quarterbacks, so too is free agency. It's the one position everyone wants to get right. It's the one